Hello and welcome back. My name is Sullosian and we are back in Skywanderers. So the last episode went for about 50 minutes in total, so I ended up splitting it into two halves just so that way it wasn't such a big video for everyone to watch in case I wanted to watch it in small sections. Just half and half, which I thought was probably better for a larger audience. So just continuing on, we will go back into our world. I messed around just a little bit just before, just to try and get used to the building and the whole system of it all, movement, just everything, because I think it will take a little while for me to get used to personally. Other people have caught on fairly well, fairly quickly by the looks of it, but myself, I'm a little bit slower. So I'll just show you what I've made. So I made it down on the ground just before, just down there, but this is what I just made now. So, well, this was meant to be closed, but I just wanted to get used to building. It's just meant to be like a little base with a door, just so I could get used to everything. Finding everything in the inventory area does take a little bit of time, just getting used to everything. So from what I can tell, this is mainly technology based and ship based. And then you've got the basic building only, and then you've got light and fancy blocks, so to say. So you've got some bricks as well in here by the looks of it. So you can see, because of these little notches here, that means it's a brick. There's a few of these different ones, different sizes and everything. And whilst you got all these different shaped ones, for some reason the standard one is, wait a minute, where'd it go? There it is. So it's in the in this one with this. So the standard 1x1 brick, as opposed to say a 2x2 brick like this, they're sort of in separate areas, which could be a little bit confusing. I think it would be nice if we had all of these bricks here in with the rest of this brick stuff here, and maybe even put the flora in with this stuff here instead. Just swap the location of some of these things, just to keep bricks under all one tab, and decoration and different sort of building block sized elements in this area. And then moving on to this one. So this one here is all logic based, we'll call it. Just controls for spaceships and buttons and hinges, and I think there's a few other things in here, but basically that's just about it for there. Then you've got in here, so what I used on the front door, I used one of these flat panels, so that way you can use the bricks and you can have it flat without having this one here, which is a bit raised up. But I'll just show. So for some reason it shows these studs. I'm not sure if that's intentional or a mistake or something. Personally, I think that's a little bit weird. If you're going to be placing down these studded mats so you can build bricks on something, you will know where it is, because you will have at least one brick on it more than likely. In which case I've got a button brick, which I've coloured blue for painting purposes. So just going on, you can now open this. You don't actually need this side here. You only really need one rail here with one actual slider block starter. These are all extension ones. So the grey are extension, the orange is the starter one. And I'll just close it from the inside so that way you can see. But basically build off of this one little like platform that sticks out from the starter one, and then it's just as simple as, I'll just get rid of this. So I've just got a really simple system here. It's just button and button on the other side linked to a switch. You press button, it flicks the switch, and you can do it as many times as you want, and then the switch is linked to that there. So by having the switch you can have two different buttons linked to it, or you can just have one button. It doesn't really matter, but hopefully that makes sense. If any of that doesn't, just let me know and I will cover it in more depth, but it is fairly simple. I didn't really do anything else in here. This here is just for saving it. So it was listed as voxel entity, so I just said voxel entity Mark 1, and then you have to click the rename blueprint button, otherwise it doesn't actually save your structure. So when you log out, it will disappear if you don't actually save it as a blueprint. I think that's just something that's happening now for the purpose of the pre-alpha. So just remember, pre-alpha, it will be a little bit different to how the actual game is, but at the moment, pre-alpha, you will need to name it and click the name or save blueprint button, that one right there, the bigger one, and then that will actually stop it from disappearing when you log out. On top of that, you also need to press the F1 button to save it. So I'll just press it a few times again so you might be able to see, but no, it's not coming up. Top left corner, you'll see like a save icon. That will come up when you press F1. So that means the game is saved, and it saved the blueprints and everything, and you're good to go. So, where were we? Last time we did the tutorial chamber over here, which we have finished now, and then I built this little thing just here just before, so I could get used to some of the things I learned that were in there. But now I think we will go over here, and I think we'll give the speeder another go. Just go get an empty hand here, and we will F to the chair, and then you do F on the control, and then we'll go F4. It's very fast, but it is good for traveling this distance, I guess. Ooh, slowing down. And here we are. So also, just another note, there is no walking, unfortunately. The closest you'll get to it is just by walking as you usually would, but holding Q down, and that will keep you level with the ground. But there is no gravity at the moment. There was an issue, I believe, with gravity on ships and rings. It was just a bit too glitchy, so the developer has removed gravity just for the moment. So hopefully later on in a upcoming update, hopefully we will see gravity re-implemented for us to all try out and test and everything. So, okay then, that's awesome. What is this? A spaceship? Cockpit? A hinged cockpit, so I believe that's a hinge there, so that should lift the entire glass canopy up, but we'll see if there's an actual entrance we can go in, see if there's any introductions to what we're looking at here. But just, this is really well built. Just, oh, you saw my little base there, that was abysmal effort compares to this. Just, it looks so naturally awesome and funky space-time. So this is the B12. Let us go inside. Okay, so just walking up here. I presume this is the only way in. Just that little spaceship detail. It reminds me of the Lego Millennium Falcon that I had as a kid. Had like the little Lego pieces and just all that inside the side entrance of the ship. Okay, so it looks like two ships here. So this one looks to be like the ship demonstrated in a lot of the videos by the dev. Red is for that. Cool, air vents, everything, very nice. And coming in here we have sleeping quarters, which I don't know that we can actually use. I think that could be cool, just having a minimum requirement of a 2x4 bed of some sort, and then you can just sleep down, lie down and sleep. But certainly nothing to really think about at this point in time in development. Moving on, we have these. We have buttons. Are any of these labelled? Alright, so that was landing gear there. So the sliders will be, just come outside. I know, so you got hinges which will be covering up the landing gear, and I can presume there's a rotator in here somewhere which rotates the landing gear up. We'll just watch it again. It's weird, I feel like I can hear sliders, but there might be something more to it that we just don't see at the moment. But as you can see, there is a fair bit of logic in this ship, and this is one of the things that I'm most excited for in the game, just having a giant room filled with circuitry. Because if you have a proper sized ship, not just a smaller shuttle like this, you would have an entire room filled with logic based stuff. And not only would you have it like behind a panel in the wall next to a door, so that way, say you're in the heat of battle, you just need to quickly hotwire a door that's not working because the main logic room has been destroyed. Then you just need to use the logic next to the door or something. Just, I don't know, some sort of battle scenario involving rewiring the door, opening up the panel, etc. I think that would be all very cool stuff. And you can sort of just see how it's being used here. So there's a switch here. Oh, that was the ramp there, okay. And then you've got rotating and sliding. So these are both for the landing gear as far as I can tell, but I'm not sure what the sliding is. I can hear something, but I presume it's just a rotator and a hinge for the flat thing that covers them up. You've got storage lockers there. Green drinks or something. We've got lights. A teleporter, I believe. Doesn't look like I can interact with that. But opening this, I still haven't figured out how to. Okay, so I understand left click is to drag it and move it. I've heard that this entire Hollow map is going to be reworked soon, so don't expect this to be the final model of the game. But every time I zoom in, it always zooms in over here. Do you press F somewhere maybe? Ah, I think it was right click or something. Oh no, I did something and then it remarked that eyeball position there. I'm not sure what I did actually. Okay, so you can just sort of zoom in. I'm only just getting the hang of this, but you can see just how many stars and systems you can go to. So I sort of held down right click there for a moment. I don't know if that actually worked. I want to zoom in on that one there. So it looks like we've flagged it, but I can't really tell what flagging it will do. I'm pretty sure you can use the flagging of it to like warp there in a hyperdrive scenario. Actually, double click or right click, and that will move your eyeball cursor to it. This makes a lot more sense now. Oh, okay. Left clicking on the system appears to have taken us into it. I can't tell if this is the one we're on, because I'm seeing a lot of planets by the looks of it, but I don't think we're actually in any planets. Okay, I don't know how to zoom in on it again, but you get the idea, I think. That there are a lot of planets and systems, and it is possible to zoom in all the way to a system, see all the planets in it, see what's in the system, and you can do that for every system. But I just don't quite understand how to do it just yet. Unfortunately, I will be working on that a little bit more after this episode, and I'll figure out how to do that then. But moving on out of this ship, okay, that's a bit of a bug, I think. We should probably just zoom back out of the holo map, or even just turn it off if we can. Just zoom out. Okay, I can't actually turn it off. Actually, F maybe? Nope, F didn't work. Okay, moving on. Let's not get distracted. Another beautiful ship just there, which looks a lot bigger and a lot more complicated, but we will move on to this lovely little mech here. Just letting you have a look at the detail on it. It's simple, it's small, it works, and it seems amazing. So let's press F to get into the standing up sort of chair. Press F on the controls. So I should just clarify, there are two different types of mechs. There are ones which are walker robot mechs, similar to what you'll find in Star Wars with the AT-ATs and the smaller ones, whatever they're called, the AT-ATs or whatever it is, the chicken walker ones. I forget what they're officially called, but there's those ones which I think we already rode around in one outside when in the first episode. And this is the other kind. It's one that will walk with the player as if the player was just one with the machine. So you can see the arms moving, you can see the legs moving. You can sort of see him jumping a little bit there. So it's weird, this thing is affected by gravity. You jump and it goes back down, but we aren't. But that's no problem. It's very cool. So there's a thing up there, I think it says Z or Z, whatever it is. But I can't really do anything with those buttons, so we will get out. And just go back to empty hand, but really simple, really nice walker. And you could really just build any sort of environment you wanted. So I'm going to presume the red button is for the door. Okay. By door I mean elevator. Very nice. We'll just leave that out for now. A bit of a storage area back here. Alright, so yeah, just retouching on the slider blocks here. These 1, 2 and 3 are all just duds. This one here is a real one. It's the only one with the orange one, the starter one, and you can also just see the platform that you build everything off of. So he's done a job to make it look like all four are part of the functionality of this elevator, but in reality it's just that one. So just remember, you only need the one. Building multiple ones does cause a few weird issues. I'll try and touch on those a little bit later, but as you can see, you just need one for it to work. And the bigger the thing hanging off the one slider, the slower it moves, I've found. So you may think, oh yeah, more of these sliders, the faster it will move, but it is easy to just use the one and have it be a bit slower. Okay, moving on. Lights, lots of things. I can't really tell what all this stuff is. Sliding entity, rotating entities. That's a power core there. Sliding entity, some more logic here. Alright, so cockpit here. and that would be for the seat, so we'll just try this now. Jump in the seat, right click the button, it lifts us up into the cockpit. We've got our landing gear, which I guess we can, I'll just quickly press it. See, now that's where all the logic comes in. You've got multiple rotators, so I'll just see if I can press the button again from in here. Yeah, see? So the ones on the back, they open up and then spread out, and then they all rotate down at the same time, and it is very nice. So canopy, so you can see, yep, as we theorized earlier, it would open the entire thing. Fortunately, that slider doesn't appear to work. So there's a bunch of decoration because you don't really need too many buttons, but it does look damn good. Okay, so, and there's also guns. Don't have a clue how to fire them though. Alright, I probably need to be in the vehicle. Okay, looks like we are taking off. Oops, okay. Bit of world glitching there, not to worry. So it's a little bit different to fly these things. So A and D will roll you, Q and E will turn left and right, which I am just certainly not used to. W and S will tilt you down and up, and then left click will increase your speed and right click will slow you down. So you can see a few more things down there. You can see the hangar bay that we've just left down there. But I think it's about time we move on into space. We will come back to those mechs, we will have a look at those, and we will just explore a little bit for now. So I think we should probably get out of third person, fix the landing gear up, go down and fix that up, move the seat back. Do we have a way to move this one? Okay, I guess we're just gonna have to do it that way. And we have that docked now. Now, I don't know if this ship has a hyperdrive, but I hope it does. Okay, we have our holo map. Do we have a point selected? Okay, we have flagged that system there. Actually, we'll just flag the one right next to us. That way, if we want, we can get back to our starter system without losing it forever. Okay, so we've now targeted it as far as I know. We have our teleporter. And I think that's just about everything. I think that's a hyperdrive there, so we should have a hyperdrive. We will bring down our seat. We'll jump into the seat, close the seat, we'll enter the cockpit, we will go into third person, slowly moving away from the ring. Now, actually just thinking about it now, I don't actually know how to engage the hyperdrive. Alright, so you probably just have to keep on accelerating by the looks of it. And then maybe... So it looks like hyperspeed is now feasible because it's green. And as you can see, we are moving away at a pretty quick speed. Let's just check the inside, 100 meters per second. hyperspeed. I don't actually know how to maneuver this. Okay. I'm just trying to think, is it like Elite Dangerous how you look at where you need to go and then you sort of press a button and you go? Or if it's like other things. Is there a big button that says activate hyperdrive? Canopy. No, not landing gear. Okay. We don't have a clue how to do this. I don't anyway. Well, I guess it's been pretty close to one episode now. Maybe a little bit over what I would usually do, but we will call it here. We will slow our ship down, go back to standard speed. But I'll just let everyone have a look at what we're looking at here. So we'll just get into HUDless mode, so that way we can see everything. But just imagine this for entire planets. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and we've got the planets here, and we've got amazing asteroid belts which we'll explore shortly, and everything just looks absolutely amazing in this game. Just a big thank you to the developer again. Really enjoying playing the game so far, and I think I will end it here. If you like this video, please click that like button, and I guess I will see you in the next video, which will hopefully be up soon. So see you then.